You give your spectator the deck of cards, tell them to shuffle them up. They shuffle them up however they want. They can even cut the cards if they choose to cut them. It doesn't matter. You tell them you've been practicing precognition. Precognition is the ability to predict the future, and you've made a prediction. Your prediction is right. You put it in the envelope last night. You had a dream, whatever storyline you want to take. But when you show the prediction says, it's my hard to read, it says, you will select the 7 of hearts. Wow. Well, let's take a look what the top card is. The 7 of hearts. After it's been shuffled and cut and moved around, whatever they wanted to do, you predicted the 7 of hearts. This is called the add-on prediction because you are adding a card onto the deck. The way it works, make the prediction, put it in an envelope, find your prediction card, take it out, put it there, and set it aside. It's faced just like that. I put it right underneath here so I can reach in and grab it. They mix them up. It doesn't matter. The card's not there. They set the deck down. You take out the envelope, and you just set the envelope right on top of the deck. When you go to take the envelope off, just push the envelope forward a little bit, and that kind of, not that far. Okay, you just push it a little bit, and it'll mess up the cards a bit, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't care what it looks like. You take this out, you open it up, the prediction matches, you reach down, take the top card, and there it is, 7 of hearts. That is the add-on prediction. Practice it, works great. Okay, you take a deck of cards, you cut the deck of cards, you have somebody say stop anytime they want, they say stop, you have them take the card, and the card is the 2 of diamonds. Now, show you how that works. You use your little pinky finger, all right? Force cards on the top, you cut the deck, put the deck down on top of the deck and your pinky, you ruffle the front, you put your hand in the back at the break, pull it apart, and you've got, and then you serve it to them. You hold it out, they take the top card, and it is the card. In fact, let me show it to you close up. Okay, here's what happens. You cut the deck, your little pinky comes over the deck like that. When you set the deck back on, your pinky stays there. Now you kind of line up the deck with your fingers so the front's closed, but the back has a break the size of the Grand Canyon. Let me see if I can make sure there, you can see that. Okay, there's the break in the back of the cards, right there. Okay? Now, when you riffle the front, they say stop. Wherever they say stop, it doesn't matter. You bring your thumb to the back, into the break, lift up, and they take the card, which is the force card. Okay? So, let me show it to you again. Force cards on the top. You cut the deck, bring it over, little pinky stays there. When you cut the deck, you go to bring this over, the pinky stays there, you set the deck down right on top of the pinky and everything, and you line it up, squeeze with your thumb in the back, fingers in the front, that lines up the front, so there's no break in the front. The break is all right there in the back. You put your thumb in the break, and when you riffle, and they say stop, doesn't matter where they say stop here, you put your thumb into that break and lift from the back up, and they choose the force card. That is the pinky break. Have fun. This is called a short force. Have a deck of cards. I could cut them myself. I usually set them down. Have a spectator cut the cards. Just cut them in half. Then I say to the spectator, I'm going to have you select a card. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have them select the 5 of hearts. So I take the cards and I riffle the cards like this. When I stop, there's the 5 of hearts. Oh, 5 of hearts. Good. Now, if I wanted to take the 2 of spades as an example, I could riffle the cards. They hand it out. They take a card. And what is it? The 2 of spades. Wow. How do we do that? Well, let me show you. Take the 5 of hearts, put it on the bottom, and the reason it works, this little card is a short card. It's just trimmed very little. The corners are rounded. It looks like a regular card. Never would it be detected. Never. Okay? So you take this card, you put it on the top. Your short card's on the top, your force card's on the bottom, or if you want to force the two of spades, there it is. Or your short card, whatever you decide your short card's going to be. All right, so I have the deck of cards. Like I say, I could either do it or I like to put them on the table, tell them, cut them in half. Now when they cut them in half, you see, they're taking the 5, putting it on top of the 2, right in the middle of the deck. Now that little short card gives me a little groove right across the deck, right across the middle now, that when I riffle like this, I will come to that little groove and it'll kind of snap. And when I separate it, there's the force card or there's the 2 of spades. Okay? Now, because of the grooves right there, you want to come to the groove. But what if they say stop before the groove? So you riffle and they say stop, it doesn't matter. You go right to the groove. If you're going like this and they say stop, say fine. And you went right to the groove, hold out the cards. Okay? If they go past it, you're riffling in the deck and they go past the groove, they're up here, just do this. Go, you got to say stop. See how nice that was? What I really said in my mind was, you have to say stop. That'll mess up the trick if you don't say stop. I need to stop at that groove. In a very nice way. Okay? That's the way it's done. So, if they don't come to the groove, you just go to it, and you're right there, they take the card. If in fact they go past it, well, you've got to say stop. Okay? That is short force. Very easy to do. Have a good practice. Okay, what if we want someone to take the ace of hearts? You tell them, cut the deck. They cut the deck. You say, now, when you put it on crossways so we can mark where you cut the deck. So they set them down like that. Now, you explain to them they had a free choice wherever they want to cut the deck. You didn't influence them in any way, did you? No, you did not. Let's see what card you cut to. And it was, in fact, the ace of hearts. How do we do it? This is called the crisscross force because we did crisscross the cards. Your force card will go on top of the deck. And when you ask them to cut the deck, they cut the deck and you tell them, put it on crossways so we can mark where you start, where you cut it. They put them on like this. Now, what's happening actually is, this is the top card, okay? Top card is right here. We'll just turn it over so you can see. They cut the deck, they take this, and they put it on crisscross. How does that work? I mean, it looks like obvious it's not going to work. It works every time. Here's why. When you do this, you have them cut the deck, put this part on crosswise so you can mark the deck where they cut it. Now, you need a little interruption from your procedure. You need a distraction. The distraction is you talk to them like this. They cut the cards, they put them on and say, now, you look them in the eye. You say, now, I didn't influence you in any way. You had a free choice of where you wanted to cut the cards. Is that correct? That little bit of time distracts them from what's happening at the beginning. Then you simply reach down, you grab the top part. I usually take my finger, top card, point my finger and say, look at the card you cut to. They look at the card and it's the force card. That's called crisscross force. Practice it. Don't be afraid of it. It does work. You just have to flow and just casually go through it. That's all there is to it. Crisscross force, great force. Okay, let's assume we want to force the 2 of diamonds. Okay, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to deal off the bottom instead of taking any cards off the top. So I'm going to lay them to the table, and how many should I lay? Let's assume they say 6. So I have 1, and I'm going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards. They could have picked any number. We have the 2 of diamonds. Now, how did we get to the 2 of diamonds? Let's say we want to force the 2 of diamonds. You put the 2 of diamonds on the bottom of the deck and put a card on the top. This is so you can flash the bottom of the deck. So when you say to somebody, I'm going to have you select a card, but we're going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to count off the bottom of the deck instead of going through the top. We'll go on the bottom of the deck. Now here's what you do. They say 6. First card you bring out, you take off the first card, you take off the bottom card. Okay? The next card is the force card. Okay? What you want to do is you want to take it, it's called the glide force, because you're going to take that force card and you're going to glide it back and pull out the next stock card. Let me show you that a little close up. So now, when you draw, the next card you draw will be the card that's above the force card, above your 2. So you take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when you say 6, you can come in and if you have a little overlap right here, no problem. Just bring it back like this, reach around, pull off the force card, and there's number 6. That's called the glide, and it's just a matter of taking your fingers, putting them on the card, slide them back, hold them with these fingers, and pull off the next card. That's called the glide.